Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Futures Club podcast, where we come to chill and get our minds right. I am Judith Daniel, your host and owner of Juju Star Productions LLC, where we have an array of products designed to help and encourage and uplift and push you forward in life. If you want to know more, go ahead and click that link. But for now, sit back and enjoy the show. So I hope you enjoyed the first segment of the new podcast of the new year. Just a couple announcements first, and then we're going to jump into talking about you. So one of the things that I mentioned on the last video was that I am doing a live group for the first time for my full program, which is going to be every Friday for about an hour and a half. And you're invited. You're invited. And then I will have all the information on how we're going to meet and all those different things once we kind of get a little bit closer. So a prerequisite is going to be going to futuresclub101.com and taking my vision board course online. So I have it set up on my website. You can go right there, do everything right there, sign up, get started, finish. And I know about how long it takes, so there's no rush. And that's the reason I'm giving it to you now, is so that you can go have plenty of time to take your time. And then that registration fee is going to be your vision board. That's the first fee of the investment that you're going to make with this. Because I believe if you believe, you can go way farther than if I'm just believing for you. And if I already kind of know that you can, but you don't know that you can, it kind of is an oxymoron because I can't put in that work for you. You know how they say, or I don't know how old this is now, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Well, I'm leading you to some very good, very nourishing, very enlightening water. And I hope you'll take a sip. It could change your life. So, why don't we talk about changing our life, right? We all want it. You know what I mean? It's like, even if you started out with a silver spoon in your mouth, you want something different, or you want more, or you want to just do this or that, right? Same as when you were born without the silver spoon in your mouth. You want more. You want to change something. You want to do this or that. Like, those things are not compartmentalized to just if you grew up with nothing, right? Because how many times have we seen someone who has so much just wow out, right? And how many times have we seen people that just have so little just wow out, right? What I'm doing here is setting up an equal playing field where no one is better than anyone else, including myself. We just have different knowledge and different information due to our walk of life. But once we share that information with each other, we're all on an equal playing field. So I don't want you to think, oh, I can't do A, B, and C because I'm a mom. I have children. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have this. I don't have that. I can't do it because my physical makeup is challenging. The only reason I'm going to say that you're wrong, if that is your excuse, and we have a lot of them, so I didn't mean to leave anyone out, but I just wanted to keep it short. The only way that I would say that those excuses are just simply that is because it all starts in your mind. And that is the most powerful, wonderful thing you will ever have. And if you let it go to waste, that'll be a tragedy. But it's like, who is around you that's um, what do I want to say? Helping that flame of excuses grow. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about, well, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm playing victim. Maybe I could do more, but I really don't want to do more. I don't feel like putting in that work. I don't feel like taking the time out of whatever I'm doing to work on this or myself. Everything is a choice. Everything. And that choice leads to another choice. So when we're talking about you, let's strip away the vision of you that your parents had for you. So they brought you up a certain way in order for you to think like this, in order for your responses to be like this, and in order for your actions to play out like this, is why a parent teaches a child to do certain things in a certain way, right? Let's strip that you away. Let's strip away the you that your, and I'm doing air quotes, friends say how they see you. Let's strip away that negativity that sometimes comes out of their mouth, right? And tells you, hey, no, I don't like how that looks on you. And you was just so gung ho about how you look in this, right? Sorry, guys. And you were just so gung ho about how you look in a certain something, and then you went to your friend, you was like, oh my goodness, look at this, ain't this pretty? Or ain't this da 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 da? And they're like, I don't even know. I mean, maybe if you fill in the blank, right? So then it takes your little self-esteem down a little bit, right? So what if we take away that you, that they sometimes they see that you're great, sometimes they see that you're not. Let's get those ones out the way, right? For those that are of working age and you have a job or have had a job, um, and normally they're either going to be time sensitive or goal oriented. And I want you to do this by this time or this by this date, or we have to have this project wrapped up by fill in the blank, right? So then they treat you according to your performance there, right? Or they put you down in order for them not to have to notice your full potential and have to notice that you're worth this much when things come around. So then they don't have to give you that raise that you deserve, but they could limit it to, I feel like this today, so I'm going to give this today. Let's strip that you away because that's not a real you. If any one of those is not a real you being portrayed on you, it's whatever's at your job because they're about making money and keeping said money that they make. And then doing the minimum required in order to take care of the people that are actually making the money for them. So you can't really count on that perspective um, of how someone sees you. And we're going to strip away that you see in the mirror. Ooh, why? Because normally, and I teach, my students about mirror work. Normally, when you're looking in the mirror, you're looking to critique yourself. You're looking to see the flaws in order to fix them. And you're just looking for a problem. So you never look at yourself in the mirror with love and just sit there for a minute and be like, dang, yo, you're looking good today. I mean, look at those teeth. Look at that smile. Oh my goodness. You're beautiful. We don't do that. We don't do that. We just like everyone else look to critique so that when we go out in this world we can be up to a standard that's not really our own, but it's a societal standard. So then if we have to put on that face which is different from the face that we have on when we come home and we take off everything and then we're comfortable. You see what I mean? But then in that comfort, most of us don't feel good about being in our comfort. Because let that doorbell ring and take your lashes off. You know what I mean? It like sends a little, ooh, who's this? What's happening? You know? Let an unexpected event happen when you're in your comfort zone and you feel out of place. Okay? So now we have gotten to the you that you like, that you feel about yourself, right? The you that you see. And you know what? A lot of us don't see ourselves. A lot of us don't see ourselves. So one of the first steps in my program is to reintroduce you to you. What do you like? Like, I mean, taking it back down to elementary. What is your favorite color? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? What does this situation make you think about? Because there's nothing worse than living your whole life as the image of someone else because someone else wanted you to be that way. I would be depressed too. Yes. So it's normal. There's nothing wrong with you because you don't see you right away. That's why I'm here. That's what makes what I do so special because I can help you to see you. And then once we have that foundation set, everything else is yours for the taking. Wouldn't that be nice? To not have the stress of your image to worry about, of like your actual you that you take outside. So for some of my more royally colored family, all right, amen. Sometimes we can do our best, put on our best, but the glistening of our skin stands out if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So there are some things that we can't physically change, but everything else is within our power to do. So it's like, will you, or do you want that real you? Or do you want to keep being and playing the role of the someone else in someone else's movie, even though you are the starring leading role in your own? Yes, there's going to be a lot of different examples dealing with movies because I'm a her. So, and that's okay because that's me and I like me. I like her. She's my number one. Without her, none of this is possible. She's amazing. She's colorful. She's still got that mouth. She can make your blood boil a little bit if you're in the wrong. But I like her overall. Flaws and all. Okay. So one of the things that I do with my students to let them know that they are okay, because that is one of the things that they seem to have just the hardest time with is knowing that they are okay with being whoever they want to be. Okay? Because it's more than anything external. It's all about the internal. So I'm going to take you through a little thingamajig that we do. And it's not a meditation. It's more like a realization and a perspective to start from. And you can add your own on or take them away, however you see fit. But having this foundation of it's okay to be me is something that I want to make sure everyone is aware of. So this is our life transformation course, Success Starts Now Decree. And it goes, and this I would recommend for my students to do once a day until they start going in the bathroom, looking at themselves in the mirror or wherever your mirror may be with a smile on your face first. And not with a rushed spirit trying to fix something. Just to look. And just be like, that's me. That is me. And so this is what I would have them read to themselves. I'm going to share it with y'all. So it says, I stand before you as a human being, completely imputed with power, automatically given a desire because I am built with purpose. I owe no man anything but to love him. I am a walking miracle, even though some may try to deny. I am fully equipped for my journey, and once I understand who I fully am, I will be unstoppable. There is no obstacle too big to overcome. There is nothing that can stop me but me. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, and any adversity that comes at me, I am fully capable to overcome. I am at peace knowing that I am in control of my journey. I am at peace knowing that situations will arise. I will know what to do in every situation, or I will seek the answer and find it and continue my journey. I am worth it. I am worth it to invest in myself. I am worth it to be my best friend. I am worth it to know that I have a calling on my life. I am worth it to know exactly who I am. I am strong. I am smart. I am resourceful. I have a vision, and nothing can stop my vision from coming to pass unless I have a vision, and nothing can stop my vision from coming to pass unless I should doubt. I am fully aware that not everyone thinks the way I do, but that's not my problem. It's okay to not take on anyone else's problem. I am well able to do what I was made to do with brilliance and precision and perfection, with all of my flaws included. I am that I am. Now, of course, I read through that kind of fast because they would actually take the time and look at themselves while they're reading it. Some of my first experiences with mirror work were not too great. Because I had never told myself that I love you. And again, this was many years ago when I started, because I only teach what I preach and practice only what I preach. So I do what I tell you to do. It's not one of those things like, okay, this is the plan for you today. And just, it's kind of work. No, it's like, this is what I've done. This is what has helped me. This is why I've become what I've become. And I don't fluff it up, but I do give you everything. So we go in there and we usually look for the flaw. And when you start changing the purpose of the mirror, it's not just to look at what we can correct, but to actually see yourself. It's going to be emotional at best. You will, or maybe some have, including myself, cried. Because the moment I start to go in there and do that mirror work, I start to think about my past. I start to think about all the things that I wish I would have done better. The moments in life that I wish I would have spoke up a little more. all the bad things that have happened from being a child, all of the places that I was wrong. It was just a whole bunch of memories, a whole bunch of things when I started looking at myself in the mirror with intent, to look at myself in the mirror and not just going there, okay, I got this right here. I need to move it. Let me fix this eyebrow, okay, my makeup, I gotta blah, 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 right? No, just going to look and going to just stop and take a moment. Because the loudest voice, meaning the one that will matter the most, will always be your own voice. And we let our voice, when it comes to us, we leave that by the wayside. But then when it's time to encourage, when it's time to talk to, when it's time to lift up someone else, we can go 10 miles a minute for someone else. So I started looking at her. All these memories started coming, and I couldn't help but cry. So many times, you think you're not going to make it. And just, I don't know why all those things came up when I started doing it for myself. Um, some people tell me, and they've told me when, because I give this as an actual assignment to do, and they tell me that they were too shy to look at themselves. And I said, but you look at yourself every day because you gotta, make sure everything is right before you leave the house, right? You gotta at least look to, okay, do I got something in my eye? And they said, yeah, but I was never looking at me. I was just looking at that point on my face, or trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to do with this? Instead of looking at me. I never really looked at myself like that. I look at my clothes. I look at, okay, are they matching? Are they this? Are they that? And then they said when they went in to look at themselves, they were almost too shy to look. And it was them looking back at them. You see how the disconnect? Now, if you're too shy to look at yourself and talk to yourself, there's a disconnect. There's a developmental issue as far as you seeing yourself. And we need to be able to see ourselves. You know what I mean? We need to be able to see ourselves before we see someone else, because we can't look for that something in someone else and we can't see it in ourselves first. I have also gotten anger. When I looked at myself, I was angry. I didn't want to look at myself. And then when we start to break down and go into the coaching sessions, because I do private coaching sessions as well, he said, because of everything that I heard, I didn't want to look at myself because of what other people said about me. And so I was angry having to go in there and do it. Now, as you can see, you're hearing my voice through a speaker, right? I'm not physically in front of anyone. And when I'm doing my coaching sessions, I am this same amount of space away, right? So the fact that he was angry that he was forced to do this, right? Like as if my hand was twisting his arm and following him into wherever he was going to look in the mirror. But I wasn't. I simply made a suggestion. that this might help. So he was angry with me. He was angry with having to do something that I said. And then he was angry with himself for even going through with it. Because when he looked at himself, all he could see was the negative that other people said about him. So I said, I thought we stripped away, the other versions of yourself in the beginning. You know what I mean? That's why I break it down to let's just see you. Let's leave those things by the wayside. And he said, I thought I did. Guess I didn't. And I said, okay. And then we go into the just different questions that I ask. And we got him to a point where he could look at himself. He could say hi to himself. He could say those 7 positive things to himself. But he couldn't say, I love you. And unfortunately, that's absolutely normal. But we begin to break that barrier down as well. Because him loving himself is the most important love that can come from another human being that matters. We can hear it from our parents, and we love to hear it from them because we want to gain their approval. We can hear it from our spouse or our significant other. Why? Because we want to look good in their eyes. We want to have a positive effect. We want to gain their approval. That's why that feels good. But when you know yourself, know how strong you are, and can look at yourself with that same strength and confidence and be fully in love with yourself, that is my goal for your self-interpretation of you. Because that person can have anything they put their mind to. What are some things you want to put your mind to, but you can't. You don't have the focus to put your mind to it. You have been trying for New Year's after New Year's after New Year's to get this resolve done or to start this new thing, but you just can't put the focus in longer than a month or so in order to do it. See, I don't want to put the hype and then it dies out. I don't want to do that. I want you to have that hype, that understood, that foundational sense of peace to continue for reasons that you believe you should. It's a dangerous thing when you put how you see yourself in someone else's eyes and you make that your standard. That's a dangerous thing, dangerous game. You have to know how precious you are, how brilliant you are, and how we only get one of you. We only get one. So let's make it the best one, right? Let's make it the one that lives in peace, that has more than enough, that is actually doing what they love to do, and then therefore never get tired of doing it. Wouldn't that feel better? So again, my program starts February 17th, which is a Friday, just about an hour and a half. And I say, you give me 1 year, 1 day a week, and I will give you the keys to the future you always wanted. All the details will be up on my website in just probably a couple days, probably this weekend. So if you do have questions, go to futuresclub101.com. Look around the site, see what I'm about, see what I do. There's more in there than just these classes, this course. And like I said, any questions, you can send me a message through the site. You can call me. You can do whatever needs to be done. And then I'll answer as soon as I can. Normally it's within 24 hours, but if it's a phone call, it might take a little longer to get to. So think about that. The next time you go and you pass a mirror, can you just look at yourself to praise yourself and to be kind to yourself instead of critiquing yourself? Let that be the homework for next week. So I'll see you on Wednesday. Have a good one, guys. As always, thank you for joining us again for another episode. We hope you enjoyed yourself, but the best way to know is if you leave a comment or you send me a message and you actually let me know. If you have any questions, I would love to be able to answer those on the next episode, so go ahead and leave me that as well. But until next time, just know you are worth it to be wherever you want to be.